Good morning, everybody. I just realized I didn't test my audio, but I'm sure it's fine. This is what happens when I'm early. I'm like, I don't need to check anything else. Because I was early today, and then I made myself late. So, I hope this is okay. So we're playing Subnautica today. I wanted to do something a little bit different because I'm really interested in biology and stuff, which you may know if you've watched me before. I talked about frogs a bunch one stream. And I just really wanted to talk about Subnautica and the ocean and fish and stuff. So that's what we're going to do. I love this game, and we are going to be playing through it, but I'm probably going to spend a lot of time talking about fish. But I might stop now and then to look stuff up to make sure I'm not giving you guys false information. So we're going to see how it goes. I've never tried streaming this game. We're going to hope it works. We're going to hope the music works. It's all an adventure. Here we go. I did skip the opening sequence, by the way. I wasn't trying to, but I made it go by accident, and then I didn't feel like reloading the whole thing because it takes a long time. So we're just gonna play, because this is more to talk about fish and stuff than anything else. So we're in it. We're in it. This is fine. Got a fire extinguisher. It's all good. Out we go. Let's go at the top, actually. Oh wow. For the record, I have played I think I might have turned off. I have been doing some stuff in this game, so I probably turned off the everything. The volume. Yeah, I turned off the voice. We'll turn the voice back on. We'll turn it up a bit. That's better. It's very quiet though. 1 second. Hold on. Yes, I don't have my shit together today.
Lines detected.
There we go. I haven't played the start of this game in a minute though, so we'll see how this goes. Can't use anything. Alright, I'm just gonna go collect stuff, right? There you go. Alright, yeah, let me know if the volume needs to be tinkered with at all. A little loud for me. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so the reason I'm so interested in this game is because I'm super interested in marine biology, and if you didn't already know, I actually have a degree in marine biology. Oh god. Oh god. Alright, we're starting off strong. Little bastard man. That means that there's cave sulfur somewhere. Yeah, so let's start. Let's start with getting oxygen. How about that? There's just mans everywhere. My god. I don't remember there being this many in this game. Alright. So the interesting thing about this game, I think, to start off with, is the fact that this appears to be salt water, because you can literally refine it to get salt and water out of it, which suggests it's salt water. Now, I don't know that much about water chemistry off the top of my head, and I also don't know that much about physics. We're not going to talk a ton about that kind of stuff. I just like to talk about the fish and stuff, and we're also going to play the game. Right, I need to get resources. I was playing Below Zero for a bit, also, and really finish it, or get as far as you could in that game. Go watch the old oxygen. Check. 1, 2, mic check. There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love this game. It's so pretty. It's so nice. I got metal. Metal is important. I definitely will need acid mushrooms at some point, although I don't have that much space, so I'm gonna leave them alone for now. Reminds me of The Little Mermaid. Oh, it's telling me to break that. We'll do that. Okay, I love all the little creatures in this game too. Let's talk about. Wait, there's this man. So this is. Let's talk about this fish real quick. Let me go up to the surface. So I won't die. So the peeper is like the quintessential Subnautica fish, right? And just so you know, there probably will be some spoilers with this game because I've already played it. I want to talk about it. I'm not doing a blind playthrough. That's not what I'm here for. Do I not have... Oh, I need to scan it, right, to get the thing. Okay, we'll wait then. Goodbye, little man. Insert taco commercial. Why not both? It's funny because this is like playing this first bit half blind because I don't know what I'm doing. I can use a fabricator, okay, because I need to make a repair tool for sure. Which I'll need to make food soonish, but what do I need to make? Okay, sulfur, silicone rubber, titanium, and silicone rubber is made of what again? Creepvine seeds. So cave sulfur, creepvine seeds. Who you call it, Porky? Okay, there's definitely cave sulfur around here because those explodey boys came at me. This is a cave. That's an egg. I don't want that. I got there's so many eggs. It's not what I'm here for. Oh, there's quartz. Why shelf? Gotta love yourself. Ah. Oh god. Oh boy. Okay. I love that you can see. I think that's one of those giant tube corals. You can see it, yeah, but you can see it peeking out of the water. Okay, I gotta find a little cave. Actually, I wonder if I can make a like a scuba tank before I do this. Oh, I can get a med kit, which is good. Oh, okay. I just need titanium for that, which I think I can make with this. That would make my life so much easier. There we go. Easy. Yeah, and I can make an oxygen. Oh, did I not pick up metal scrap? I thought I had. Don't have enough. Heck. Alright. Back out to find more titanium. I guess we'll just grab everything we see. It's like a basic resource. What about in here? Oh. Got here. Oh, there's... Oh. Oh, I got a whole fish. Not a half a fish, a whole fish. Ha ha ha. There's two of them already came at me, and there should be one more. Where are you? God, that's a dark hole right there. Okay. I'm just gonna hold this fish. It's a good fish. I can cook them. I will be able to cook them. The peepers, I believe, are the best source of food because they're rich in protein. So we'll grab some. Okay. And then there's gotta be metal scrap around here. There must be. I know there's always some in the creepvine forest. So perhaps we'll go there. Yeah. Okay. God, I remember when I first played this game, the stalkers, which were those boys, used to scare me so much until I realized you could just kind of circle and they couldn't get you. Easy. There we go. Take all of this, thank you very much. Oh yeah, I guess I need, oh no, I need the seed clusters, right? I'll grab a couple of those while I'm out here.
Life on this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
That's all I can carry right now.
30 seconds.
What did I just get? Okay. I can't do blueprint. Oh, my little pod's on fire and it's sad. I'm very interested by this fish. This one I'm holding. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I gotta make some survival stuff first. Oh, and I think I can make a repair tool now. I believe. I think I have the stuff for it. Yeah, I just need the rubber. And I have that. Beautiful. O2 tank. I can also make fins. Yeah, I have more stuff to make silicone, so I think we'll do that. Hello, peas? Peas, can I have this? Oh, my inventory's full, but it's not. What? Oh, they're made. They're just. Oh, they're glitched. If I even come back, they'd be fixed. The inventory is not. Oh, maybe it is too full for. Can I just drop these on the ground? No. Oh, did I already have an O2 tank? I am a fool. I am a fool. Can I just drop it? I don't want it. You don't want that. Get that out of here. Yeah, no, I did. I just made a whole new tank for no reason. That's cool. Okay. Here's what we'll do. Oh, I just can't even use it yet. Okay. Hang on. Can I just drop? Oh, I can drop that. I don't need that. But I mean, I have an extra in case something catastrophic happens. There we go. I like how I had to have the space to put that, even though I'm putting it directly into my body. Yes, I know. Okay. Now we'll make a repair tool. And we'll get stuff going. Don't think I care about the rest of this right now. Yeah. That I would like, though. Glass. I think I have this. I have quartz, which makes glass, right? Do I have board glass? Yeah. Look at that. I'm going to be able to breathe even more. Oh, I guess I should make food also. My hungry girl.
The fabricated coats small organisms while
Yes,
disposing
it
of the
does.
skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Put that in my face. I like that it also gives you a little bit of water. That's nice. Hold on. Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry for the squishy noises. Okay. What do I need to do here? I was gonna make a repair tool. That's what I was gonna make.
Detecting increased local radiation levels.
Radiation? I don't want none of that.
Damage to the Aurora's life form
Okay,
systems
I'm ready.
during planet fall.
I'm gonna bring the lights back on. You ready?
Life pod
There we go.
systems
All
are
better.
running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Okay, let's look at our new data first. Category 3, ocean, planet, oxygen, nitrogen, atmosphere. Oh. Extensive biodiversity. That one is questionable. The biodiversity in this game is actually pretty low, which I mean makes sense. One of the things I really liked about this game is they do have low biodiversity, which means there's not a lot of different kinds of species. But they have a good reason for it, which is, spoiler, it's because of the bacteria thing. But it also makes sense just so they didn't have to design like hundreds of creatures, and so they didn't have to have all those running around all of the time. Because really it should be more populated than it is with different species, but from a game design perspective, I presume and from a biology perspective, just with the bacterium wiping a lot of the animals out. It makes sense. Although some of the animals don't make sense. Oh. I'm not being saved. Unfortunate. Alright. Great. Now what do I want to make? I want a knife. I definitely need a knife. I would like to make this, which I just need more titanium for, but I have the stuff to make titanium. I'm going to sneeze any second. Y'all talking about game design in here? I mean, maybe. Do you know anything about game design? Oh wait, I can also, I think I have food in here and stuff. Yeah, that's good. Just put this stuff in here because I don't really need it right now. Actually, did I need the silicone? Crap, I needed something for the, no, not that one, sorry. Yeah, I mean, the mesh of game design and, like, biology is pretty cool. I like when games make sense. You know, you're willing to suspend some disbelief for the fun of it, but I like when they actually make sense. Biologically and such. Okay. What? This. Silver, that's the one I need. I knew I needed something. Okay. My brain no work good. Okay. High capacity tank. That's better. And then, ooh, I can make a knife. I also would like, definitely want a scanner. See, now I need the acid mushrooms for batteries.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Brux's Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
I feel like that's not, I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, there are, I guess, weapons in the game, but they're not really weapons because they don't really hurt stuff. I like when games let you do cool things like drink gourds or lose fights against a monkey. I mean, that's fine. That's fair. You could drink a gourd in real life. You just have to turn it into mush. Yes, need 2 acid mushrooms. Although, I presume I would like to make a flashlight also. Definitely a scanner, and I would definitely like a flashlight, which also I presume battery and glass. Yeah, okay. So I need to get some acid mushrooms. I need to get some more quartz. Gourd gang! Gourd gang! Off we go. And once we get the scanner, we can talk about fish. We'll talk about all the fish we find. We're gonna scan everything. It's gonna be a wild time. Go in this tube. Giant coral tube. But for now, we're just gonna bop some rocks. And maybe go in some little caves. I think there's usually quartz over here. We'll find out. I could fight the stalker now if I want to. Bop him first. Like Bear Grylls. Hello. Where is the... No. God, there's just eggs everywhere. That's a really interesting looking egg. Ow! Do you have a health kit I should probably use? Alright, that's better. There's some salt here. I don't think I really need that yet, but always good to just collect stuff until I start running out of room. Then it's less fun. I will fight you. I'll fight you. Don't come at me. God, that was scary. This game, it's a lot less scary than it used to be because I've played it. But when I first played it, like, the dark freaked me out. The dark still freaks me out, actually. All of the Leviathans freaked me out. Even the Stalkers freaked me out. But now I'm ready to throw down. You know? And, like, the ghosts and stuff really freaked me out. The ghost Leviathan. Ah! You wanna fight? You wanna fight, homeboy? He doesn't. He doesn't want to fight. He knows. He knows what's up. Can't hit them. They're dancing. Look at them, running away. Alright. I have one sharp thing, and that's it. There's the quartz. I got bubbles. Rain coral. That's a thing in real life, I believe. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, what cat? Leave it on the ground. Yeah. I will say I don't know a ton about coral in on Earth. Coral are these organisms that are made up of, I think, calcium carbonate, and then they're populated by these little plankton boys called zooanthellum, something like that. And they give it the color in there. It's a symbiotic relationship, and it's very good. Give me the rock. Pass me the rock. Ooh. Curse these lungs of mine. My slow feet. Oh my god. Can't wait till I have like the sea cloud and stuff. What you got? Oh, this is a crab trap. Give rock. No. Spy rock. Can't have it. Wait, what was... Guy's got a fluid analyzer. Not trying to brag, just facts. Let's see. No. We're gonna find quartz if it fucking kills me. Would you mind? I also need to get some bladderfish for water. You're playing I am playing Subnautica. We're gonna talk about fish when I get the scanner and can scan the fish. I need glass. Subnautica is probably one of my favorite games ever. I'll be honest. It's just, I frickin' love games that have really cool world building, and this one is just like explore an ocean planet, which is like everything I want ever. Oh, I can't find quartz. Okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start looking in some caves because I definitely found some in some caves. There's rocks. There's so many rocks. Lots of fishies, too. There's a cave. I'm sure there's nothing that wants to explode in my face in here. Oh, yeah. Shit. For fuck's sakes, why are you in here? Die. Die, bastard. Oh, there's the... Oh, my God, there's like 3. Nope. Just gonna take a second. We're gonna regroup. We're gonna hit this man so he goes away. Chimera wasn't even here for me. Calling him out. Gourd gang. God, that was a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. I need to drop the old fluid analyzer. I hear you, and I know I hear you. It's fine. Please stop yelling at me. You gonna want to fight? Why are you all trying to fight me? Get out of here! I will say, it's very nice that they scream before they attack you. Very helpful. Makes your life easier. However, in the real world, that doesn't make any sense. Because why would you alert your prey to the fact that you're gonna eat them? Unless, of course, they're just being defensive. That's also a possibility. We got a bladderfish. Oh, hop. I'm ready to fight. I feel like I got less scared of this game because I was doing a bunch of stuff where I was in creative and couldn't have damage taken, but now I'm more stressed because I can be hurt. Will you go away, please? Get out of here. God, the terror makes the prey taste better. Oh. Alright, we're gonna find... Maybe down here. I have some... Oh, Skippy. Go away! They're like chasing me. Stop. I left your territory. I'm not bothering you. I'm too big for you to eat. Unless you all like tear me apart. And that's scary though. I want to think about that too. Okay, I do have a fair bit of quartz. I have... Alright. We'll go back. We'll grab some acid mushrooms. And we'll make us some tools. Internally, he screamed. I scream externally. Oh, he's so far away. The problem too is when the stalkers start following you, they get closer and closer to like where your stuff is. And then, fuck's sakes. Go away. I will kill you. If I was any faster, you know. If I was any faster, I would just kill you. Ha! Gotta show him what for. I'm gonna die. Alright, I'm gonna go back. I'm not gonna try to fight. Don't. Moving on. I usually never fight these guys. Well, if you go in a circle, they can't hit you. But they're being annoying. I swear to God. Okay. You gotta establish dominance. You gotta show them who's who. Well, if you look at my health, you can see it didn't go all that well. To be honest. Oh, I got a message. That's what he's calling me. Sure.
This is Lifeboat 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea guide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic.
I'm sure they're fine. You know?
Seriously. 3 out.
I'm sure everyone's fine. Oh. Right. Let's make some water. I'm thirsty. He also died to monkeys. That makes sense. Oof. It's not nice.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Correction. Oh, these are supposed to be on my feet. I didn't even notice they weren't on my feet. No wonder I was so freaking slow. They make me 15% faster. Okay, I also need to grab acid mushrooms. Very important. Need like, almost say 4. That seems like a good amount. This is why I haven't played Sekiro. Because you're afraid of monkeys? Is that why? You can just admit it. It's okay. Is there another? No. No one is going to judge you for being afraid of monkeys. I'm afraid of pigs. Rebreather. Oh, I should make that too. But not yet. Can't die to monkeys if you don't fight them. That's not true, actually. You don't have to fight something to die to it. Okay, I definitely need batteries. Ooh, power cell. Alright. And then I need... What was I gonna make? I can make scanner, and then I just need cave sulfur... No, not that. Sorry, I need glass. I'm gonna make the glass before I forget that I needed it. Was it just one glass? They won't find you. You're never safe from monkeys. There is always... There's a very small chance, but it's always above 0 that you could die to monkeys or be attacked by a monkey. I'm saying. Alright, great. Flashlight. And then scan. Yes! Oh, this turned into the Professor stream. Let's calculate the likelihood that you die to a monkey. Gotta turn this all into titanium. Talking about statistics of getting attacked by a monkey. I don't know the statistics of getting attacked by a monkey. I just know that there's above 0. It could happen. Anything could happen if you believe. I need to make some storage containers. Alright, let's go scan some stuff. Talk about some fish, shall we? What do you want to scan first? You're just scared people. See what those boys are about. Come here, you. I'm gonna eat you. Oh no, well, that's fine. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Did I finish scanning you? No, I didn't. Alright, now I did. Let's grab some food, and we'll chomp down on some... He's gonna jump! No, he did jump. Sometimes I think they jump out of the water. Not really sure why. I believe in genies. Now where are my 3 wishes? I don't know why you would wish for anything except me existing. Ah! Why are they everywhere? Where did you even come from? Where? Where did he come from? It must be down here. Handy dandy flashlight. It must be in here, right? I don't remember them having such a range of attack, to be honest. Where did the little bastard come from? Huh. I don't think it was down here. Please! Go away! Ow! Let's just scan a bunch of things, and then we'll talk about it. Just everything. Shuttlebug. Yeah. Let me scan more things. Send the whole fish. Come here. Oh please. Oh please. Oh no. Oh no. Scan him. Are you allowing backseat gaming? I mean that you totally can if you want to. I don't really care. I feel like I know quite a bit about this game, and I'm more playing because I want to talk about fish. But like, go nuts. Also, hi, Super Cat Plays. I also hate Crash Fish. They're one of the banes of my existence. That and sea monkeys in Sub-Zero. Can't wait for Two Top. Okay, we're gonna go back. Maybe we need to get some bladderfish, and then we're gonna talk about the things I scanned. Alright, little bastards. Where are you? My eyesight. Not great. Where are bladderfish? For the love of God! Where are they coming from? Where are their freaking flowers? That's like the 5th one. Okay, this is fine. Oh, there's a bladderfish. There's one also there. God, let's talk about fish. Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta not die before I talk about fish. Come. Come here. Fish are not mammals. They are in fact fish. You know what? We have an expert in the house right now. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna go back and we're gonna look at some of the things I scanned and we'll talk about them. We'll see what's happening. Whoops. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. There we go. Okay. There another med kit? No, not yet. Okay. Fish. Yeah. Excited? We're about fish. Not the monkeys. Fish or fish, oh my stars. It's the president. Hi, President Denny. Hope you're doing well today. God, what if I just cooked all my bladderfish right now? What would you guys do? I'm not that kind of president. Okay. Gonna eat a little bit. Get your bladder. Okay, let's look at what we scanned, shall we? I'm not interested in that. We don't really have anything about that right now. Let's look at coral. The varieties of coral formation appear to be different. Solution is the same problem of maximizing water and nutrient flow through the colony. These particular variants funnel it down a tube, filtering nutrients as they pass. Their size suggests they've been highly successful. They're rich in calcium, exploitable in bleach fabrication. Alright. Fisher friends, can you be a puppet for the people? Why, Jim? Why are we on the ground? Alright, so as I said before, if you were here, so, on Earth, not necessarily on this planet, but on Earth, corals are made of calcium carbonate. So they have, like it's sort of saying, they have a lot of calcium in them, which apparently is in bleach, which I didn't know, but now we do. And the way they work is they have plankton that live on them, and they're called I can't remember the last part of this. It's a zooxanthellae, I believe, and they're this specific kind of phytoplankton, which is a plant plankton, which means they can take energy from the sun and turn it into energy they can use, and they share some of that with the coral, and so it's a symbiotic relationship like that. And really quick, so plankton, really quick, let's talk about that. Plankton is not like necessarily oh, thank you so much for the follow, King Waffle House. So plankton is not necessarily like a classification having to do with any kind of species or anything. What plankton actually means is animals that can't swim against the current. Oh, thank you for the follow, President Denny. So even stuff that's bigger, like stuff like man-o-wars and some jellyfish type animals, if they can't swim against the current, they're still classified as plankton. So, and basically there's two major kinds of plankton that we differentiate between. So we have phytoplankton, which is basically like plant cell plankton. So that they're autotrophs, I think is the right word. So they get their energy from the sun and they synthesize that into energy they can use in their body. Whereas zooplankton is like animal cells. So zooplankton are usually bigger than phytoplankton because I think a lot, if not all, phytoplankton are one-celled creatures. But the cool thing about zooplankton is some of them are animals that are going to stay that small forever, and some of them are just like larvae of other animals. So stuff like crab larvae, a lot of fish larvae, sort of stuff like that. Nemo or someone protects you. What is happening? I think that was versus the shark. I counted 3. Are we role playing again? Are we? This is like Dungeons and Dragons, except it's the president. Polar hype. You ready for this? You stayed me. Glad you guys are having a good time while I talk about fish. So that's a little bit of stuff about coral and a little bit of stuff about plankton. And then let's see what else we have here. I can never remember. I think that the day is still going while I open this. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, so let's talk about this little fella. He's a herbivore, encountered in large numbers, found to frequent shallow waters and move in schools. They have serrated teeth for grinding coral. Other herbivores aren't able to digest. Twin fins, they're cartilaginous extensions of the skeleton. They're less prone to damage, provide superior propulsion, are also harder to grow back. The bright blue tips are in fact the end of its digestive tract, where the luminescence of the corals it consumes most focus. Most active during daylight, prone to flee on approach. Can be more easily observed at night when its bioluminescence gives it away and it seeks to shelter the seabed. So, let's see. I have no idea how I ended up in this situation. You screamed that I have to get down. I saved you. Listen, sometimes in life, things happen and it's okay. So, my immediate thought about why this particular one is interesting is I can't think of anything off the top of my head that looks like that, fish-wise. It kind of just looks like a caudal fin, which is a tail. It's called the caudal fin because it's the caudal. Because a lot of fish tails are, like, they have 2 lobes and they are kind of like, I wish I could draw something. Hi, Creedalls like the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. I was super excited for this stream because I love talking about animals and biology and stuff like that. I totally forgot what I was saying. Right. So a lot of fish tails have basically, like, you can see my mouse, right? Yeah. 2 lobes. So it's like you have a top half and a bottom half, and it's kind of forked in the middle. And usually the more forked it is, the faster the animal is, which is interesting. So it's really a funny looking boy. And it doesn't really have any other obvious fins. Like, it just has those, which are kind of just part of its body. Which is interesting. And they're cartilaginous. So this fish both has skeleton, so bone and cartilage, which is interesting. Because usually with fish, one of the big separations you see is between cartilaginous fish, which is stuff like sharks and rays and that kind of stuff, and bony fish. So it's interesting that this one would have both. Serrated teeth. So serrated means it has like little points. It's not like flat or just sharp, which is interesting. Serrated teeth for grinding coral down. Yeah, that makes sense. So teeth. Okay, let's see. You're promoted to captain of the guard. How does the breathing system of fish exactly work? I don't know the English word for it, but yeah. So fish have gills, And I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna actually pause the game for a second. Let's see if I can pull up a nice picture. Maybe not. Basically, okay. Just want to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I talk about it. So, the way, to my understanding, the way it works is, so fish have gills that are kind of in their neck, like throat area. And usually what fish do is the water goes into their mouth and then it comes out the gills. And as it's going through all of the gill filaments and stuff, the oxygen is displaced into their bloodstream. I don't know a whole lot about the chemistry and the cellular part of that because that's not really what I'm interested in. But gills are really cool looking. I've dissected fish and looked at their gills, and they almost kind of look feathery. Let's see if I can find a picture here. One second. One moment. Gills. Fish. Show me some gills. This is a nice picture, maybe. Okay, we might just move to... How do I, show this? Okay. Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me here. I wasn't planning on, like, showing pictures and stuff, but I guess I should have been. This is my first time doing this stream. Where's a nice picture? This is a nice picture. Can I just, like... show my browser, perhaps? Yes, I want my browser. Pretty please. No, not like that. Actually, how about just window capture? Can I do window capture? But basically the way it works is they have multiple, like, branches that have the gills on them, so they go through several, sets of gill rakers. I got this nickname in another stream when I came regularly, and then because of the nickname, I changed my username to this current one, and listen, you're setting a certain expectation for yourself if you're calling yourself a president. Okay, you know what, I'll figure this out later. It's okay. It's not gonna... In another stream, I'll make it happen. Anyway, but the very basics of it is the water goes in the mouth, it comes out through where the gills are, it passes through the gills, and through that system, oxygen is able to be pulled out of it, and that's how they get their oxygen, which is pretty cool. I promise next time I'll have a better setup where I can switch to looking at pictures and stuff. Here's a question: do you like or dislike the nickname? Okay, let's look at the whole fish. Oh, actually, I feel like there was something else I wanted to talk about in here. Oh yeah, so one of the interesting things with this one is it talks about how it's bioluminescent. So it says it's bioluminescent because of the coral it eats. And the boomerang can easily be observed at night. So here's the thing that bothers me about that. I mean, this is, like, again, this is just from a biology perspective because factory and game design is a whole different thing. But it would not make sense for the boomerangs to be out and about at night if they're bioluminescent, if they aren't using that bioluminescence to do something like attract a mate or find food or something like that, because it makes them a really easy target. And the easier a target something is, the easier it gets eaten. And if you're a prey fish and a predator can see you even more easily at night, you wouldn't be out at night or your species would probably go extinct. So, I mean, I think that I love the aesthetic of when you're swimming around and there's lots of bioluminescent things around, and I totally get that from, like, a gameplay perspective. I totally get why they did that. But it's not quite how it works in real life. Assessment edible. Very good. Alright, whole fish. Small herbivore found in low numbers, often around the cave system, so it lives in the cave system, where their skin coloration blends into the background. Okay. Bored out tail fin. By manipulating the size and shape of the hole in its tail, it can perform unpredictable maneuvers. Smaller than most other herbivores, presumably due to lack of vegetation in low-light environments. Assessment. This isn't real life, it's just a game. That's a fair point. So they live in caves. So the first thing that is interesting to me, due to the fact that they live in caves and low-light environments, is the fact that they still have a pretty big eye. So a lot of animals that are adapted to low light, either their eyes are adapted to low light, or oftentimes they use their other senses more. But it doesn't seem to have other senses it uses besides its eyes. It's just that in very low light situations, developing the eyes to be better is not always the best adaptation. I think the bioluminescent, yeah, exactly. I like Shamira is saying, like, I think the bioluminescent thing, like, just from a gameplay perspective, I think it's really, really cool. I think it's really pretty, and I totally get it. It just doesn't necessarily make sense biologically, which is okay. I just liked, this is just the stuff I wanted to talk about. I don't know how I feel about the giant hole. It's just a weird adaptation, and I feel like you would get a lot less propulsion having a giant hole. But again, I don't know a ton about the physics of movement and stuff, so I'm not going to get too much into that because physics is not my strong suit. Smaller than most herbivores. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, okay. Well, look at the peeper. We want to talk about eyeballs. Look at this thing's eyeballs. They're all eyeball. A fast prey fish encountered in shallow waters and rich in protein, developed side-facing eyes, capable of discerning colors, not just in shallow waters, but in a variety of lighting conditions, also able to close its eyelids, thus preventing light from reflecting off the lenses and rendering the peeper almost invisible to nighttime predators. So, this is obviously a very sight-driven creature. Its eyes are its biggest feature, and if it has giant eyes and, like, no other very clear senses, like, it is a peeper. It is clearly a visual animal, right? And again, a lot of the time, visual animals are they're not night creatures. And something it's saying here is it can close its eyelids, which, you know, renders them almost invisible at night, which is totally fine if they're hiding and they can close their eyelids. You guys are amazing. I love this chat. I'm so glad you guys are having fun. And I hope you're learning some stuff and you're having fun listening to this. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. I don't know everything, but I know some things. Anyway, but again, if your main sense, so that's including for detecting predators and stuff, if your main sense is one that you have to completely cut off in order to hide, that is kind of a problem. Because, oh god, okay. He did do a sippy, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. I guess I could have turned off food and water, but I feel like it makes it less fun. When did we get the president of Denny's? God, we're so lucky. We're so blessed. I must do a fluid intake. Okay. Yes, vital signs stabilizing. So back to the peeper. So once again, so like a big thing for fish and just animals in general, but especially fish, it's like you have to be able to know if a predator is coming to get you. That is important. And if your biggest feature is a giant bright eyeball that makes you very, very visible, and the only way you can not get seen is to close your eye and thus make yourself completely sense blind to everything that's going on, like, that is not a good strategy for living. So, bad for the peeper. Bad. Don't like it. Powerful fins. The species have evolved powerful fins which enable rapid acceleration in still water and the ability to leap meters in the air to avoid pursuers. Okay, let me hold on 1 second. I want to look up flying fish and look at what their tails look like really quick. We'll get back to why in a second. I just need to know what their tails look like because I'm pretty sure. Yes. Okay. So, as I said before, Does the Preeper have 2 eyes or one big eye that has 2 pupils? That's horrifying. They have 2 eyes, to my knowledge. Although they're very... One interesting thing is... hold on. I'm pretty sure, like, the Peeper isn't big enough for the eyes to be round, so they're actually kind of disc-like, which I think... Again, I don't know that much about eyes, but I know when your eyes get very nearsighted or farsighted, it's because your eyes are becoming, I think, more oval-like than round. Don't quote me on that. But, so for the fact that this thing's eyes are probably like discs, I have no idea how they work. I don't know. I just don't know. What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so it says rapid acceleration and ability to leap meters out of the water. I really want pictures for this one. So I'm going to try the picture thing again. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Apologies. God, that is a horrifying image, Sam. I have almond-shaped corneas. Interesting. Yes, this actually. Can I see this? Maybe if I, like, say no more game capture for a second. Can I see this, please? Yeah, okay, great. I figured it out. So, there's 2 things I want to show you while we talk about this. Okay. I need a picture of this. I need a picture of this. I'm going to pause the game while we do this. No, not like that. I just want, like, a shark. Okay. So let's open this up here. So really quick, we're going to go over this one more time. So it says it has powerful fins, which can enable rapid acceleration in still water and the ability to leap meters out of the water. So here's my problem, right? We're gonna look at the So look at the shape of its tail. Okay, it's very rounded. It kind of comes to a bit of a point, but it's very round. And now if we look at, let's look at this one first. So. There we go. Okay. So if we look, we're looking at tuna right now. And tuna are a very, very fast fish. And if you look at their tail, you can see how forked it is. So it's very not round. There's 2 distinct lobes, which is like the upper part of the tail and the lower part of the tail. And this is the type of fin you get with a very fast fish. Again, I don't totally understand the physics of it, so we're not going to get into that too much. But this is what a fast fish looks like. And to my knowledge, I believe tunas can maintain fast speeds. So we're also going to look at something else. We're going to look at sharks. But I need to look at okay, this is a good picture. So you can see this guy also has a very forked tail. And usually sharks actually have a bigger top lobe. And so sharks are fish that they don't usually maintain fast speeds. But what they do is they can move really fast because they're ambush predators. Hold on. Please zoom in on the Panama tuna. Tuna can be 900 pounds. Tuna are really big, actually. Yeah. They're huge and delicious. How many cans of tuna are so small? I feel cheated. How much tuna could you eat? Literally looks like this emote. We'll have to get out of there. Okay. Anyway, but back to the sharks. So, sharks are... I don't like that. Sharks are ambush predators. So, what a lot of ambush predators do is they're not super fast just in general, but they can move really fast for short bursts of speed. Kind of like a cheetah. Cheetahs cannot maintain fast speeds, but they can move really, really fast for short periods of time. That is what ambush predators or roving predators like sharks do. A roving predator is basically, it kind of moves slowly, it's chilling, and then once it locks onto a prey, it moves really fast and it grabs it. She's gonna get eaten by the shark, by the way! It's okay, guys, I'm friends with him. Anyway, so they have usually a bigger top lobe to help with the really fast acceleration. And now we're gonna look at flying fish. Let's see if we can find a good picture here. Yeah, this is a good picture to show this. So you can see flying fish also have the really fast shaped tail. They have the really forked tail. But you can see something that's interesting about flying fish is they actually have a bigger lower lobe. So the bottom of their tail is actually bigger. And the reason for this is so that they can get out of the water. So they're getting more propulsion from the bottom of their tail, and it allows them to fly out of the water. Now, one of this from the game Maneater, a sort of Jaws-inspired game I've heard of. Outrageous blue shark picture looks like he's saying, oh, like he just understood the math from the homework. Get down, Mr. President Shark. Protect the President Jim. Get down in the water. That fish drank Red Bull. Hide in the caves. My goodness. Yeah, so you can see, so we have a very fast fish. We have a fish that is very fast in short bursts. Who's tougher, baby sharks or daddy sharks? That is a weird tagline. And then we have flying fish, which are really fast in short bursts to get them out of the water. So now if we go back, after learning this, if we go back to wherever my Subnautica game went, here she is. So if we look at the tail on the peeper again, I'm going to keep it paused, but if you look at the tail on the peeper again, it is not forked at all. This is not the tail of a fast fish. So that does not make any sense. It should not be able to get out of the water. It should not be able to go very fast. It's not a fast boy. That's all I want to say. A slow boy. All right. Let's move on. So, beak likely used to break down corals and tough vegetation. Guys, I'm so active. Oh god. Hold on. All right. Let me look at chat again. The water is turning the fish cave. Big Daddy Shark sticky emoji. I actually have an emoji. I think it's called Big Daddy Shark. It's from a gifted sub. It's called Big Daddy Shark. Oh no. How big is the biggest octopus? I think it depends on the kind of octopus. I actually read a book about octopuses lately in the last couple months that was really interesting because it was talking about they're really smart. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that right now. We can talk about octopuses some other time. I'm totally happy to do that. We're going back to the shark. Jaws 2, Electric Sharkaloo. I ain't about to fight no octopus. Electric Sharkaloo. There are different kinds. Well, there's different species, yeah. There's lots of different species. I believe there's one that's super venomous and could very easily, I think it's called a blue spotted octopus. Is that what it is? Blue ringed octopus is what it is. Alright, you know what? We're going back. We're going back to the window capture. No, we're not. Hold on. I gotta make this smaller so I can look at chat while I do this. Bear with me here. Oh god. Oh Lord in heaven. There we go. Okay. Now I have to fit this bad boy to the screen again. So, I think, just as a really quick aside, so there are lots of species of octopus. There is, I believe blue-ringed octopuses are pretty small, but they're very venomous. So, really quick recap for anybody that does not know. Venomous basically means it's an animal that injects venom into you in some way. So things like snakes are venomous. Bees are venomous because they inject it into you. Platypuses are venomous, and these octopuses are venomous. Are you you're trying to get fun? Octopieces? When I'm so I shouldn't put that in my mouth. Very small, but they could kill 28 men. Yep, exactly. Do not touch blue-ringed octopuses. Yeah. Let's look up biggest species of octopus for fun. So, because somebody asked that, and now I'm curious. The giant Pacific octopus grows bigger and lives longer than any other octopus species. This one was 30 feet across and weighed more than 600 pounds. Oh, I watched a thing about a newt. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I didn't remember to fix this. Do this. There we go. You watched a thing about a newt? What did you learn about newts, Shamira? Hit us up. Hit us with a newt fact. Man, I wish it could be an octopus. But that's for another time. I mean, we're just kind of doing whatever. This is kind of like just chatting at this point. They're super venomous. What kind of newts, I believe, and salamanders are usually poisonous. Oh yeah, I didn't finish my thing. So, Again, venomous means they inject venom into you, so it's kind of like a offense thing. It's usually a defensive thing, but it's like if they decide they're like you're going down, homeboy, they will just inject you. So again, snakes, like bees, octopuses, platypuses, those are venomous. And then there's poisonous. So poisonous means that something has poison like in their skin or in their body, and if you were to eat it, it would make you very sick or kill you. So usually like toads, a lot of toads are poisonous. And salamanders can be poisonous. I'm trying to think of what else is poisonous. I don't know what else off the top of my head. What the carrots is a newt. So, alright, now we're going to talk about newts and salamanders. So, really quick, salamanders are this thing, they look like lizards, but they are not lizards. Salamander. You know what's up. Oh, that's a spotted salamander. So, they look like lizards, but they're actually related to frogs. So they're amphibians, which means they live in moist environments. They have skin that has, I forget what they're called, but they're like mucus pouches or something like that. Salamanders are super duper cool because they can regrow most parts of their body. It's wild. They can regrow toes and legs and their tail, and I'm pretty sure they can even regrow sections of their spine, if you can believe that. The newt thing is a joke from Monty Python. That I was singing the tune of Smooth Criminal. We're your friends, Emily. You don't have to lie to us. We know you're actually turned into a newt. So, with salamanders and newts, newts are salamanders, but I believe, I'm going to look this up after to check that I'm right, but salamanders start off in the water because they're amphibians. They also have a tadpole type state. And so they start off in the water, and then they metamorphosis and they become adults, and then they come out on land. Whereas newts also do that, but they have a final phase. So they start off in the water, they metamorphosize and come out on land, and then they metamorphosize again. Well, actually, I don't know if they metamorphosize the second time, but they have like a teenage phase where they come out on land, and then after that, they go back to living in the water. Yeah, so something that's interesting is you might know this is an axolotl. This man is an axolotl. Axolotls are a kind of salamander, but they're a kind of salamander that never ever comes out of the water. So this is what a larval salamander looks like. So when they're babies, this is what they look like. But axolotls just stay like that through their whole lives because they always stay in the water. And these weird, funky feathering things you see, those are their gills. And these are external gills. So a lot of fish have internal gills, which means it's inside their body, it's tucked away, but they have external gills, so they're on the outside of their body. I don't know exactly how the oxygen exchange works for them with the external gills, but it does. It does. I don't know. I hope he doesn't retreat to the bunker. Eternal youth. Look at that boy. Axolotls are very cool. They're a pain to take care of. Yes, you have to do water changes. They're really, really susceptible to kinds of bacteria and fungus and stuff like that. My birthday's in 24 days. Water dog. Yeah, mud puppies. So axolotls are a kind of salamander species that are found. I believe they're only found in this one place in Mexico in the wild, but you can get them pretty easily in the pet trade. And then mud puppies are similar, but they're a different kind, and they live, like, we have some here in Ontario. I'm sure they're probably found in places in the United States, but they're usually brown. I believe axolotls in the wild are also usually brown, or black, brownish black. Because, obviously in the wild, if you're white, you don't blend in most of the time, unless you live in, like, the Arctic, but they do not. So I think the newt I was watching was the rough-skin newt. Let's look up rough-skin newt. Rough-skin newt. Oh, what an excellent boy. Toxin exudes in their skin. Yeah, so they're poisonous. They should be poisonous. Let's look at the Wikipedia. Tetrodotoxin binding. Interesting. They're very cute. Look at him. He's a chunky boy. All right. Yeah, so like it says, so yeah, they're poisonous because they exude the toxins, but they can't actively, like, inflict it on another animal. They have to be grabbed. I saw a frog eat one, and then the frog died. God. So they produce. We'll have to. Listen, I'm gonna make a list of topics. Maybe I would like to talk about venom and toxins at some point. I have a whole book about it, but not right now because I definitely need to do more research into it. But the different kinds of toxins there are is really interesting in how they work. But another time. The newt raises head and stride, bro. God, I love snakes. The common garter snake has been observed to exhibit resistance to the tetrodotoxin produced in the newt's skin. Interesting. Arms race. Ooh. The relationship between rough-skinned newts and common garter snakes is an example of coevolution. So I guess what happened is the rough-skinned newt is a common prey item for garter snakes, and so to be able to keep eating them, it's sort of, as the newt evolved more toxin, the garter snake evolved more, basically, anti-toxin strategies. A snake came over to the newt, this bad boy, and the newt said, like, try it, bro. And the snake was like, I don't want that. I got bit by a hognose once. I've been bitten by quite a few hognose. I actually have a picture on my phone right now of a pretty big hognose that bit me. It thought I was food. Can I post the link of the thing I watched? You're welcome to. I don't know. I'd have to, like, turn off the bot for that. Maybe just post it in the Discord. Listen, we're like 10 followers away from affiliate, and once I get that, I can give people VIP, and then you can post links. But we're not there yet. But we'll get there. I think Nightbot will smack you if you post on Twitch. Yeah, you will get smacked. Anyway, we'll watch that later. So, I think this is especially interesting, the coevolution between newts and common garter snakes, because the thing about garter snakes is they're what we call generalists. So animals are basically either generalists, which means they can eat lots of different things, and usually because of that they can live in lots of different places, or they're specialists, so they are specialized to eat usually like one specific thing. And so a lot of times, if you're, specialized to eat one specific thing, you have all kinds of adaptations for that. Dear people of chat, I have to go. Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for hanging out, President. It was lovely to see you. Hope you come again soon. Anyway, so once again, generalist species don't usually have a ton of specific adaptations for what they eat, but specialists do. Like, they might have specialized appendages for catching. Thank you for the fun and protection. Alright, also, if you want to join the Discord, there's a link below. You just have to click on the thing that says Discord if you feel like joining. I hope you have a great day. Anyway, so it's interesting to me that the garter snake that is usually a generalist and thus wouldn't really have any sort of, like, super specialized things for prey items because they can just eat such a wide range of things. It's interesting to me that they would evolve to develop a resistance to the toxin. That's really interesting. It evolved to get away from the garter snake, and the garter snake said, I'm still gonna eat you. That's rough. God, snakes is a whole other topic. Alright, I feel like we should maybe get back to Subnautica now, since that's what the point of this was to begin with. Let's get back to Subnautica. Now that we've gone off on that tangent for a good long time. I think, yeah, I have... Oh, and then there's this boy. A common scavenger at the base of the food chain. Mouth parts small enough to be a little threat to most organisms. It's clearly adapted to feed on the waste products of the ecosystem around it. 3 mandibles used to orient itself when drifting and to filter through detritus on cave floors. 3 legs. High-strength muscles can propel the organism great distances through the water, as well as ambulating them across the seafloor. Necessary waste recycler presence may indicate nearby cave system. So, detritivores. So really quick, I'm gonna look up. The detritus is basically like all the waste and whatever that settles on the seafloor. So it can be stuff like, you know, poop from various animals. It can be like random bits of plant matter, like anything that's decomposing. And something that's very important for any ecosystem is you need organisms that break that stuff down. And so it's stuff like that. This happens in all sorts of ecosystems because animals are always creating waste. But it's, you know, you need organisms that can break down dead things and waste products and just anything that's decomposing. It's very important. And like even the decomposition process, it's really important to recycle those nutrients and those elements back into the ecosystem. Very important. Yeah, so I guess that's what this boy is. I don't know where his mouth is. Bye, Mr. President. I would have to, I think, see this boy in motion a little more to have more of an opinion on him, because, like, this is not giving me a whole lot. I don't know where his mouth is and stuff. Okay, let's play the game, maybe. Oh, I missed him. It's okay. What else should I make? I would like to make a... Oh, I need to go scan fragments and stuff. Yes, I know. I'm a hungry gal. I also would like to make some of those locker things. I just need titanium for that. Okay. I'm gonna make like 2. Yeah, but hit me up if you have any kind of biology questions. I'm happy to stop the game and go off on a tangent. It's a good time. We'll make a couple of these bad boys. Ugh. My throat hurts a little bit from all that talking. But it's all good. That's what I'm here for. How do I deploy these again? I do not remember. Do I just like... Oh, that's not it. That was silly. Oh, he says locker. Guys, I could give the lockers names. Just saying. I could do it. There he is. There's the other one. God, I love the sound they make. This one's gonna be... This one's gonna be named George. And this one's gonna be named... Well, we'll say this one's gonna be Dennis in remembrance of the president. I have a question about biology. Hit me up. Can't wait to hear it. Okay. Yeah, like, look at all this bioluminescence. That's cool. It's very cool. Doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's cool. Makes my life easier. Let's go get some more peepers. And we'll scan some more things. Right, I saw... Okay, I definitely haven't scanned the ray. Come here, you! Can't see shit. Oh, this is a boy I haven't scanned either. This is an interesting boy. Alright. I'd like some bladderfish, please. Pretty please. I can definitely see them without, got my knife. Claw bait for you. Oh, I should scan a bladderfish also. Alright, next one I see. What's the difference between antlers and horns? You really brought that back, huh? Antlers. I mean, there's quite a few differences, but the main one I remember is that antlers fall off every year and horns never fall off. Can't believe you asked me that. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, this is what we're doing now. Me. We scan some more stuff. We scan more stuff. Wait, I heard a boy. I heard a very large boy. Where is he? Where is he? I hear the reef backs, but I don't know where they are. It's okay. I'm gonna get the fish. Get the fish. There you go. They named a vine after me. Oh, Sam. Oh, I could go over there. I want to make a sea glide first, though. Before I start trying to go somewhere. Oh, okay. I might pause really quick and go to the bathroom. So I will be right back. I can lay here. I'll put the sharks back up for you, so you guys can look at sharks while I'm gone. Here you go. Have some sharks. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'm hydrated and stuff. All set. And we're back in. Alright. What do I need to do? Eat food. Antlers have fur. Yes, they do. There are definitely other differences. I just cannot remember what they all are. I think antlers are usually branched and horns are not. They need to find out. Okay. Oh, you want to see it? They named Creepvine. Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Very funny. I am back too. Welcome back, Warrior Girl. I hope you're enjoying the science. So, I fine. I'm not hungry. Not hungry at all. It's fine. Not the least bit hungry. Shire is such a dad sometimes. He's a dad friend. It's very good.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Much better. Okay. See, I'm fine now. I need to go scan things. Oh wait, right. I already scanned things. Actually, let's look at them. Let's look at the things I scanned. Let's talk about them. Also, I just realized, it just occurred to me that this whole scanning and then talking about things means I have to scan some very big, angry things at some point. So, that's gonna be interesting. Creepvine. A kelp species concentrated in large forests and shallow sandy waters. Loose roots anchor the plant to the sea floor, where it grows steadily towards the surface in pursuit of sunlight. The stem is fibrous and rich in iron, making it both a viable base material for fabrication of textiles, as well as a basic foodstuff. Okay, kelp is another thing I don't know a ton about because I'm more interested in animals usually, but kelp is... what's it called? I think it's a macroalgae. Big plant. Big algae plant. It might just... hold on, I'm gonna look it up. It might be its own thing. But, so there's three kinds of... there's either 3 kinds of kelp or 3 kinds of algae, and it's like green, blue, and red, or something. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Back to this. Kelp. Yeah, let's look at kelp in real life really quick, like... Oh, guys, I looked up kelp and this is what I got. Oh, I looked up kelp. I thought it said kelp. Kelp. Yeah, so they are a kind of algae. Kelps are large brown algae. Maybe there's definitely like green algae, brown, and maybe there's a red one. I can't remember now. What are the side effects of kelp? Yeah, so kelp is obviously a very real thing in real life, and kind of like in the game, it is usually its own big ecosystem, and a big part of that is that it makes up these giant like underwater forests. Please kelp me. I swear to God. Please don't pull me into making puns on. I can't. I'm not strong enough. Okay. But kelp forests, one of the reasons they're so good is they provide a lot of cover for fish. So it's a good place for them to hang out, to nest, to breed. Some of them might even eat kelp. Unsure about that. Please no fish puns. But one interesting thing about kelp forests is that, so there's I want to say it's purple sea urchins, but there's a kind of sea urchin that they will eat, like the roots of the kelp, which makes the kelp, it basically gets rid of the anchor, that the kelp has to the sea floor, which is not good for the kelp. But this is important because, you need new growth. It's kind of like in forests, like trees do need to come down sometimes, to promote new growth of other organisms, other kelps and stuff like that. That's important. And so they're kind of, the sea urchins are kind of a controller of the kelp. And they help regulate it. But what happens is sometimes there's too many sea urchins, and that can devastate kelp forests, which is not good. I think you're a sturgeon strong? Anyways. But this can be a big problem, and one of the reasons that happens is because of what's called top-down control. I think that's what's happening here. Top-down control is... I had a thought in my brain and it just went away. Okay, we'll talk about it in a different way. Basically what happens is, so sea otters are predators to sea urchins. And because of that, they regulate the populations of sea urchins. And so when there's less sea otters, usually due to humans, usually that's why there's not a lot of sea otters, there can be tons and tons of sea urchins and their populations bloom, and they can destroy a ton of kelp forests, which is a problem. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure the way it works is, so bottom-up control is basically, for example, something that's very important with populations of animals is something called carrying capacity, and so that's the sort of maximum number of a species that an ecosystem can support, and once it gets past that, usually there's not enough resources or something like that. So bottom-up control is basically like there's not enough resources to support that, and that is what's controlling the population, whereas top-down control is something like, oh, there's a predator that's regulating how big the population is. And both of these can be important. A lot of herbivores are controlled, like their populations are controlled by predators, and that is important because without that they would use up all of the resources. There's actually this really interesting carrying capacity, like in Skyrim. I hate when I have to drop stuff. I have a video of a seal farting. Sea otters are apex predators. So there's this hypothesis, and I believe it's called the world is green hypothesis. Yeah. And basically this is a hypothesis of top-down control. Basically what it is talking about, I believe, is that I think they used deer as an example. Sorry, I was for tangenting. I'm totally okay with this. So I think deer was kind of the example, and it was like, well, if it was bottom-up control, so there wasn't enough resources, then, the world wouldn't be green because the deer would have eaten all of the grass, all of the plants, so the world wouldn't be green. But the world is green, which means it's not the resources that are controlling how many deer there are, it is something else. And the answer to that is it's predators. and that is super duper important. There's a... Oh, thank you so much, Tommy Evastora, for the follow. I really appreciate that. Welcome. I'm trying to think. I think it was like there's a Yellowstone Park wolves. I think that's what it was. I don't know. I can't remember. There was some... It's better than sinning. Follower hype, little math joke. Oh, it's better than signing. Okay. We're funny. We have math jokes. I can't remember, but there was some park, and I think... Oh, this is gonna bother me, because I can't remember all the details enough that I feel like I could, like, recount this properly. Is it Yellowstone? Because I can't remember the exact details, but it was something along the lines of wolves, were a big predator. I think, what is it, caribou or elk? I think those are the same thing. I think elk and caribou are the same thing. Anyway, but elk. There was a lot of elk, and elk were eating all of these, plant shoots that could have turned into trees and stuff like that, and because of that, there was a lot more erosion. So really quick, erosion is basically like, say if you have a river, and it's a fast-flowing river, and there's, like, dirt, it's, like, dirt on the sides. If the dirt is not, like, held down or packed in really tightly, it will get swept away by the river, and slowly but surely the river might get wider because it's eroding away the dirt at the sides. Does Subnautica take place on a different planet? It does. So a lot of the comparisons we're using is obviously Earth stuff, so, you know, we get to give them some benefit of doubt because it's their own planet and it's fantasy and it's okay. But, anyway, back to what I was saying. Basically what was happening, I think, in Yellowstone or a national park like that was there was a lot of erosion happening, because one of the things that stops erosion from happening is really dense root systems. Root systems help the ground stay in place. And when there's not a lot of roots, the ground is a lot more loose, and it can be, like, pushed away by water and other stuff like that. So what was happening was new roots couldn't form because the elk were eating all of the plants. Hollow Knight would be such a cool biology game. It's a bunch of bugs, right? I don't know a ton about bugs off the top of my head, but I would love to learn more. Bugs are awesome. I think they're a fascinating group of animals. Bugs. That'll be on the list too. We're going to make a list of biology topics. Watch it play Hollow Knight on stream. So I can cry while talking about bugs and fighting bosses. Did I finish what I was saying? I think basically, yeah. How else? Yeah. So what was happening, I think, is there's a lot of erosion happening because there was a lot of elk, and they were eating all of the plants. And then when they reintroduced wolves, there was, like, the population of elk went down, and they were also a lot more careful. They had to be more careful because suddenly there was a predator there for them. And so they spent a lot less time eating these certain plants and stuff, which made the river stop eroding. I think that it was something like that happened. It was really cool, though. Hold on. Let's find a good article for this really quick. Yeah, I think, like, there used to be wolves there, and they're trying to fix it, and I think it did help, but yeah, sad. I don't know if this is gonna give me what I want. Okay, it's okay. You get the idea. It's really interesting to see how stuff can change so drastically because of one species. So we're just gonna tangent forever. I'm so sorry. We're gonna talk about keystone species now. So keystone species, it's basically a species that is so important in an ecosystem that if it's removed, the ecosystem and the diversity or biodiversity will, like, start to break down. And a big example of this is starfish. Keystone species. Pisaster. And we're going to tangent all the way down to atoms and molecules. I am not big on like cellular biology or like anything small scale, to be honest. I just don't find it quite as interesting. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so the starfish, this kind of pisaster starfish, is a keystone predator because it's sort of the same thing as they control the populations of other species. God, I could go for a cheeseburger right now. God, now we're talking about food. Yeah, so this particular experiment that was done, it was done in an intertidal community. So if you don't know what that is, an intertidal community is basically, they're usually on seashores, and what happens is they're an area that experiences high tide and low tide, so half the time the animals are actually uncovered and exposed to like the air, and then the other half of the time they're covered by water. And it takes some serious adaptation to be able to live there, because those are some wild conditions to have to account for. There can be like wildly warm temperatures, it can be really cold temperatures, and just the fact that you're going back and forth between two very different mediums of how you have to get your oxygen and stuff like that. But basically what was happening in this community is there's a couple different kinds of I think there was like bivalves and stuff there. So stuff like, it was bivalves or it was snails? Let's look at this bad boy. But essentially what was happening is there was like a couple main kinds of animals that were there. I want to say it was like snails and like mussels. Yeah, there's mussels. And then whatever. Anyway, basically what was happening is that, sorry, I had to think for a second. Okay, no, I'm remembering more details now. Basically what was happening is, I was incorrect before if I said they eat snails, but so this starfish eats mussels, and that is important because if the mussels are not eaten, they actually end up outcompeting all of the other stuff that is there. So space is a big problem for a lot of what's the word? Is it sessile? I think it's sessile. One moment, let me look that up. Sessile. I think sessile means they stay put, right? Yeah. So animals are usually sessile, or I can't remember the other word, but basically they either stay in one spot pretty much forever or they move around. And so a lot of things on the seafloor are obviously sessile, and stuff like mussels and clams and stuff, they can move around, but they spend a lot of time in one place, sort of anchored in place. And basically what's happening is space is a big commodity, especially for stuff that lives on the surface of it. And especially in intertidal zones, that's another big problem they have to face. So you have to be able to either get to space faster than other animals, you have to be able to, like, beat them off your space, anything like that. And mussels were good at this. They're good at spreading and choking out the other life. And so what was happening is, while the sea stars were there, and there was a good amount of sea stars, the sea stars would eat the mussels, which would clear new space for other stuff to come in. So the biodiversity, which is the number of species, was much higher, which is good. Biodiversity, good. But if you remove the sea stars and suddenly there's no sea stars, then the mussels basically take over. And the biodiversity goes down a lot, which is not good. You don't want to have only one or a few species dominating. You want to have sort of lots of little niches that different organisms can fill. That starfish looks wrinkly as fuck. Of course they're good. They got mussels. We should talk about invasive species like zebra mussels. We can absolutely talk about that. But just back to the final point on this. I think the reason they were looking into this is because there's something called sea star wasting disease, which basically, as it sounds like, it makes sea stars waste away and they die from it a lot of the time. And that can be a huge problem for their population. And again, if there's less sea stars, then suddenly there's more mussels, and that can be a huge problem for the ecosystem. So they're a keystone species. They're very important to have around. And I believe, back to the other example I was using, sea otters are in a similar position in the kelp forest kind of ecosystem with the purple sea urchins. Because left unchecked, the purple sea urchins will just eat everything and leave, like, a wasteland behind, which is very bad for biodiversity, and you're destroying a whole ecosystem, basically. Yeah, we could talk about invasive species now if you guys want. We could get back to the game at some point. Eventually. Alright. I'll keep invasive species in my brain. I think we should play a bit more of the game, and if we get back off on another tangent, we could talk about that. Okay. Oh, but I was gonna look at I hadn't even looked at the other animals yet. Okay. We'll try to make this quick. Rabbit rays, herbivorous, live serene and solitary lives with few predators, a natural sense of curiosity, and awesomely poisonous flesh. Poisonous. So, as you all remember and now know, poisonous means they can't actively, like, inflict toxin on other animals, but nothing will want to eat them. And, pausing again. So, one defense, or, like, warning system that some animals have is to be very brightly colored. So, most of the time, animals are the colors they are because it helps them camouflage. Because camouflaging is very important. You need to be able to hide from predators, you need to hide from your prey so you can sneak up on them, all that sort of stuff. Super important. And the main exception to this is when animals are using their colors to warn off predators. Sometimes some animals will have stuff, like I believe there's a butterfly that has a design that looks like an owl's eye on it. So anything that would want to eat it might see the owl's eye and be like, oh my god, that's a giant animal, I'm staying away from that. And the other thing that happens is some animals are really brightly colored, so they're really easy to see, but they're poisonous. And the bright colors mean they are poisonous, and thus animals will avoid them. And sometimes animals will mimic other animals that are brightly colored. So one strategy that can be evolved is to have those really bright colors even though you're not poisonous. And there is quite a few species that do this. There's a lizard, it's called a blue-tongued skink. And as you might imagine, they have a blue tongue. And one of their defensive strategies is when something is threatening them, they'll show their blue tongue, and because it's a bright blue color, it theoretically means they're poisonous and should ward off predators. And that is something they've evolved as a defensive strategy, which is super cool. Even though they're not at all poisonous, they actually make decent pets if you're into lizards. They only get, like, 1.5 feet long. They're pretty cool. I used to work with a couple of them. They're one of the better pet choices if you're ever going to get a reptile. I forgot what we were talking about. We're talking about colors, right. I wish Ty would let me get an Argentinian tegu. Tegus are big, though. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Tegus are big, and they require a lot of care and a lot of space. All these animals. Yeah, this is what happened. I'm sorry. You're going to hang out with me, and you're going to get excited about animals and want animals. Undulating wings. Similar method of transportation to Earth rays. Zero genetic resemblance detected, suggesting these two species independently developed similar solutions to their environmental circumstances. Large side-facing eyes are relatively recent adaptations. It's likely they are related ray species in other environmental biomes on the planet. There are other ray species. Then they will all bite me. Sorry, my caps lock is stuck. I think if you go through life being afraid that everything's going to bite you, you're going to have a bad time. Yeah, usually with, like, reptiles and stuff, but like most animals, but especially like reptiles and stuff, if they bite you, it's because you did something wrong. It's because you didn't respect their space, or you weren't paying attention to the fact that they were being defensive, or that they're coming at you like they want to eat you. Snake and lizard bites don't really hurt, though. Lizard bites usually really don't hurt because they don't have teeth. Storm bites harder. Yeah. Storm is a cat. Storm also has much bigger teeth. And it hurts a lot more. What was I going to say about this? I wanted to talk about this. Right. So when they're coming at me like they want to eat me, how am I supposed to avoid that? Well, the only time you won't really find that in nature. Snakes are a lot smaller than us, and even the really big ones, we're not their prey. We're not their natural prey. So they don't see us as food. So very rarely, if ever in the wild, will you be bitten by something, by a reptile who's like, that's food. But in captivity, because they get so used to us feeding them and they get used to us and realize, or like they can recognize that we're not a threat, that is when it happens sometimes. I have one of my snakes, he's about like 2 or 3 feet long. He has a very active feeding response. He gets really excited, and if I am waving my hands around a lot, he just gets excited by the movement, and he will be like, that's food. And oftentimes snakes will check if something is food with their face. They'll grab things that may or may not be food, because in the wild, if you spend too long wondering if something's food, it's going to get away. So you bite first and ask questions later. Basically, is what happens. But again, that's really only something that happens in captivity. And in captivity, it's pretty easy to avoid. You have tools like snake hooks. You feed them with tongs. And usually you can recognize the behavior. I can tell when my snake is really excited about food and is going to bite my hand if I put my hand in its cage. And you just avoid it. Also, again, it really doesn't hurt that much. I've been bitten on the hands a lot, and I've been bitten on the mouth by a snake. And it wasn't that bad, honestly. It doesn't feel good, but a lot of times it barely hurts. They only think you're food because you're looking like a snack. Okay. This is interesting for one thing, that this ray is a herbivore. Did they get all slithery? Oh, you were bitten on the mouth. That snake was getting feisty. Yeah, I was bitten on the mouth by a ball python, which are like 2 or 3 feet long. It happens. It goes that way sometimes. I think Emily might have a crush on Ty or something. It's gross. Icky. Yeah, so I think this is interesting that this ray is a herbivore, because to my knowledge, all of the kinds of rays we have here are carnivores. So it's interesting, like I wonder how it eats. Because, so the position of a fish's mouth usually has to do with how they feed. So fish that have what's called a superior mouth, so it's kind of at the top, are usually, they're predators that are looking upwards and they're going to grab something that's above them. Fish that have terminal mouths, so they kind of go just like straight out, are eating stuff that's straight ahead of them. And fish that have, what are they called? Inferior mouth, I think, they have mouths down here and they're eating stuff that's below them. So it's interesting. I mean, maybe they just act like little vacuums and they suck up food like that. Also, I got to feed rays once, and it was very fun. They feel like little vacuum cleaners. And the other thing I want to talk about with this is there's 0 genetic resemblance, but they have a similar method of transportation to Earth's rays. I have to look up these words to make sure I'm using the right words before I talk about this. But, so there's what's called convergent evolution, and is it divergent evolution? Hold on a second. I just have to make sure I got the right words with this one. No. Convergent evolution. Yeah, okay. It's called, so convergent evolution is basically what happens is, so adaptations, anything that is evolved in animals is basically like a solution to a problem. So let me see, what's a good example? Well, like the example with the garter snake and the newt if your prey is becoming toxic, one solution to that problem is to become immune to the toxin. That's a solution. And stuff like that. So adaptations are solutions to problems, basically. And they evolve over, hundreds and thousands of years or whatever. But that's what they are. They're solutions to problems. And so what happens sometimes is different animals will evolve very similar solutions to the same kind of problem. And often the structures used are a little bit different, but the purpose is the same. So one example of that, hold on one second, I'm going to find a good example of this before I talk about this. Example, give me an example. Oh, yes, okay. So here's a good example. Is birds and bats. So birds and bats both can fly. But the way they fly is actually it's kind of similar. They flap. But the structures they use are somewhat different, and they evolved completely independently because they split off evolutionarily long before the flight thing happened. So it's very cool because you can see this in quite a lot of animals. It's similar, I think, with swimming mammals and fish. It's like they both have fins and they both work very similarly, but they're different and they evolved separately. Because one interesting thing I've always been curious about is the fact that fish, their tails are for swimming, they go like this. They go side to side. And that's how they produce propulsion. Whereas mammals that swim, so whales and dolphins and stuff like that, they go up and down. And that's interesting to me. Although mammals are usually, way bigger and fattier, so I wonder if that's a more effective way of propulsion. I don't know. Again, we're getting into the physics of it, and I don't know much about physics. But so that's something that sort of sticks out to me here. It's this thing's solution to whatever problem it was facing, or whatever niche it needed to fill in order to keep surviving, was to develop the same sort of transportation strategy or propulsion strategy as Earth rays, which is cool. Inedible but harmless. Yeah, I think I'll stop there with that one, and we'll see what else we have here. Bladderfish. Mostly defenseless, bears little resemblance to other life forms on the planet. This is the mola mola, or ocean sunfish, of this planet. In my opinion, they're weird, and you're like, what is your purpose? How do you survive? How do you live? But they're very cool still. So, semi-permeable bladder, able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through unique membrane, which surrounds its spine like a bladder. It allows it to remove and consume organic particulate cart on the way and adjust its buoyancy. So, one sort of problem that things that live in the ocean face, especially the animals that are moving around, one big thing they have to deal with is buoyancy. Because when you're living on the earth, you don't really have to worry so much about the up and down because of gravity. Gravity pushes you down. But it's not quite the same in water because the gravity is not... My words are failing me. Basically, it's much easier to move up and down than it is in the air. And because of the density of water, you can be lighter than the water by inflating yourself with air or something like that, or there's different strategies. So one strategy a lot of fish use is they have something that's called a swim bladder, and they use that to regulate their buoyancy, basically by kind of inflating it and then deflating it. Whereas other animals, so sharks and stuff, they use, I think they're lipids, I can't remember. They use some kind of material in their body, I think there's stuff like urea and TMAO, which I can't remember what that stands for. And they use that kind of stuff to regulate their buoyancy because I think it's lighter than water. So that is a thing that all fish have to kind of account for and have to have a strategy for, is how are you going to regulate your buoyancy. So it's, ow, oh, that hurt. Oh, I just stabbed the inside of my nose. It's fine. So what's interesting to me about this fish is it's like entirely bladder. There's so much bladder happening here. And you can see it can clearly inflate and deflate. It filters in air and seawater. So that it has a very clear strategy for buoyancy. Everyone's knows that hurt. I like having long nails because I like being able to do things with them, but they're sharp sometimes. Yeah, so clearly this is a method, partly at least, to control its buoyancy, but it's such a big feature that it has to be for something else. So this thing is kind of like a can't believe Shamir just used my own joke against me. Anyways. So they must be some kind of filter feeder. If they're filtering air, if they're filtering seawater into their body and removing and consuming organic particulate, then they're a filter feeder. Which basically means, so filter feeders, sort of like this, they basically take in large amounts of seawater and filter out all of the edible stuff, the organic matter and stuff like that, so they can eat it. I saw an opportunity and took it. As opposed to animals that just seafood, grab food, don't have to worry about the water part. So they're clearly filter feeders. Do they have a mouth? Or do they just, hold on. Open-ended vascular tubing can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity guided propulsion. That's interesting. I see food and I take it. Ty is not a filter feeder. Ty is a predator. So they don't even have a mouth. They just use this tubes, I guess, to take in water and also to shoot it outwards. I think that must be what's going on, because there has to be an in and an out for the water. And this is clearly like an out thing, the tubes. But there has to be an in tube, and I literally don't see a mouth on it. So is that what it is? Oh! Explosion! Wait, I want to see the explosion.
Emergency. A quantum detonation has occurred
Oh,
in the
let's go watch the
Aurora
explosion.
The reactor
I identify
is
as a
in
hungry
critical
boy.
state.
I think you would get along well with my snake.
9, 8, 7,
It's gonna pop.
6, 5,
Pop, pop.
3, 2.
Whoa! Explosion. Radiation? I don't have to worry about that, probably.
For your convenience, the radiation suit has been added to your vehicle database.
Alright. We're not done talking yet. We're not done talking about the bladderfish yet. Back to the bladderfish. Okay. So, I'm still confused as to how the water gets in, but I'll take it. Do a cool streamer reaction. Whoa, bro. That's a big explosion. Anyways, largely oblivious to threats and practically immobile at night, its only identified defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air, and cartilage. So, I'm gonna show you what I was talking about when I was talking about the mola mola or ocean sunfish. They're wild. They're wild creatures. So, this bad boy right here is an ocean sunfish. They're gigantic, for one thing. Actually, let's see how big they are. Oh, actually, there's comparison right there. They can weigh between about 250 and 1,000 kilograms, and they get up to like 2 meters. Can I get a cool surfer dude reaction? So they're fucking huge. You can see the comparison between how big how big a person is and how big a sunfish is. They're gigantic. They're huge. And they're the weirdest fish. They're the weirdest fish because they basically, like, they don't have any defense mechanisms. I got one of those in Animal Crossing. They don't really have any defense mechanisms, to my knowledge, other than the fact that they're just very, like, nutritionally poor. Like, there's no real reason to eat them. I believe they eat jellyfish and stuff like that. Like, they don't really do much. And, they're just these giant bony fish, and you're like, what is your purpose? How did you live? Yeah, people love talking about how useless this fish is. I think it's hilarious. They're generous. Okay, so they don't only eat jellyfish and stuff like that. They also eat small fish, fish larvae, squid, crustaceans. Yeah, they produce more eggs than any known vertebrate, up to 300 million at a time. Yeah, they're vulnerable to few natural predators. They do have some that will eat them, but, like, the reason they survive is because they're just ridiculous, and they make so many eggs, and then they just are this giant defenseless fish that just, like, lets things chew on them. They're so funny. Let's read more about them. Early research suggested they move around mainly by drifting by currents. They've been reported swimming 26 kilometers a day at a cruising speed of 3.2 kilometers an hour. So that's not very fast. Now that's a lot of eggs. Think of all the omelets you could make. They're capable of moving rapidly when feeding or avoiding predators. They can vertically leap out of the water. That's interesting. They also do this really ridiculous thing, this basking behavior. So basking is basically usually something that animals that are ectothermic, so they don't make their own heat, do, where they basically just, like, sunbathe. A lot of animals do this. Oh, pelagic. That was the other word I think I was looking for. No, that's its own. Maybe it's benthic. Maybe benthic's the word I was looking for. Anyway, doesn't matter. They actively spend a large portion of their lives hunting. Okay, to be fair, I feel like there's some overhype about how useless they are. I just think they're hilarious. They're so weird looking, and they're just vibing. So they'll eat small fish, fish larvae, squid, crustaceans, jellyfish, salps. All those are funky looking dudes. Sometimes they'll eat eelgrass. They're just giant. They're huge, and they have thick skin, deters many smaller predators. Adults, yeah. Sea lions appear to hunt sunfish for sport, tearing the fins off, tossing the body around, and then simply abandoning the still living but helpless fish to die. That's horrifying. No one eats like Gaston, cooks up eggs like Gaston. No one buys and cooks all of the eggs like Gaston. I'm especially good at eggs. Or omelets. They're hilarious. I love them. But they're weird and they're dumb. But it's great. Perfect. I'm especially good at omelet making. Gary Fish. This is a weird boy also. Slow-moving and curious herbivore, camouflage indicates adaptation for evasive behavior on the ocean floor. We need an egg emote. We could have the hope egg emote, maybe. Eye stalks may be beneficial when watching for predators from hiding spots placed among the coral. Okay. Most active during daylight hours, but slow and docile at all times. The survival depends on a combination of camouflage and predators who can get a more filling meal elsewhere. I think, like, one of the things that, like... Oh, sorry, I forgot to switch it back to Subnautica so you guys can see what I was looking at. Might be. So one of the things that, like, I think it's funny, but I also think it's kind of too bad, is a lot, like quite a few of these creatures so far, it's like, oh, they survive because like there's better things to eat. And it's like, that's not really a strategy. Hoping a different animal gets eaten instead of you is not the best strategy, I will say. Oh. It's not really solving a problem. Oh god. Can you oh, you got time for a second. It's fine. I'll come back. I'm sorry, you can't post things. Savagely smacked by the Nightbot. Yeah. Like I said, the VIP thing will come soon, and then you can post links if you want. I don't want to not... I don't want to let people post links, because then random people come in and post bad things. Somebody texted me, and I want to know who it is. I don't know who it is. That's bad. They kind of said, hey, how it's going, and I don't know who it is. I posted in the Discord, we did want you to be fair. That's fair. You deserve it. Alright, I don't know that I want to talk a whole lot about the Gary fish right this moment. The eye stalks are interesting. But they're kind of just like, oh, they're just little boys that like do nothing. Yeah, I don't know that I like that it deletes your messages. It's kind of weird. I mean, to be fair, that is helpful for, like, when people are coming in and being icky. Don't like it when people are icky. Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the Gary fish. He's a dog boy. What shall I do now? What else is in my data bank that I have? Oh, just blueprints. I don't care about that. I care about the animals. He must be punished for trying to show animal videos in the animal stream. Absolutely. Okay, I need to make more food. Oh, is it clipped? I see. I think there's a way you can allow some links, but I'm not even sure what... Oh god. Oh, did I just do something bad? Oh no, I already made the water. I don't know... I would have to look into that more, because I don't want to just allow, like, any Twitch links, because that means people could just come in and be like, come see my Twitch. I don't want that. Although I guess I have a moderator boy who could do his job, perchance. I really need, like, this stuff right now. Have a boomerang. I could just let him go. I really eat him right now. Bye-bye. That's a great video. Okay. I guess I just need to look around some more, scan some more stuff. Could go scan the stalker. Scan is what I meant. Or also, we can scan the plants. I don't know how much I'll have to say about them because I don't know quite as much about, like, sea vegetation as other things. Alright, I'm going in. Come here. I'm gonna try not to get both of them attacking me. He's got the metal. It's the time. It's the time. If you stay under him, he can't see you. Ugh. I wish you didn't have to... Oh. Shoot. I wish you didn't have to 100% scan one creature. I wish it was cumulative with all the creatures. That would make my life a lot easier. Like, for scanning Reapers and other Leviathan things. I just get this too easy. Please don't attack me. Please don't attack me. Please don't attack me. You can have that. That's fine. You can have that. Stan the Stalker. Yep. That's his name. I know there's another kind of fish around here somewhere that's like some kind of amphibian. Unsure where though. Oh, where is he? Where is he? I hear him. Oh, there he is. Just like Bioshock. Yes. There he is. I love the Bioshock games. The Bioshock games are also up there as some of my favorite games ever made. Whoop! Hobcobbit! Oh, there's also a gasopod. Get them research photos. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Let's go scan the gasopod. Get it out. There we go. Where is he? Come back. Come back. Come back. We should do that on stream. Do what on stream? Play Bioshock? I do like Bioshock. Come back. Please. Please. I want you scared. I just need to like get your toe. Oh. So I gotta get the body. Bioshock is indeed a fantastic game. Let me scan him. Excellent.
Short-range scans suggest the spire supports extensive plant diversity and connects to a number of small cave networks.
Got some coral. More coral. Wherever that is. Red wart. We got some cradle. We got furled papyrus. And is that all? We got a barnacle. Up. Give me that. And oh, another barnacle. These are interesting. They're glowy. Barnacles are wild. Wild looking. Okay, I feel like I've gotten everything. I can scan this. Oh, good. I need to breathe. Kind of looks like a crock pot. Just scanned it. Mushroom too. Hello? Here we go. Okay, scan everything. Alright. Did I scan this one? No. I love this man. Wish you could swim on you. Okay, where did I come from? Oh, goodness. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm gonna try to go through and scan some stuff down there, but I'm gonna grab a breather first. There we go. I could do that too. Whales. Oh, there's a sand shark down here too. She's stabbing the ocean. Yeah. Oh, there's another kind of fish there too. Okay. Please don't. Don't you do it. Don't you grab me. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I hate erratically. They move. It freaks me out. He's gonna try to eat me. Alright, he's just chilling. He's vibing. We're fine. We're friends now. Alright. I think he's broken. Oh, he's unbroken. Alright, get itch my nose. Don't eat me. Man, I wanna. There's more fish. Oh, I hear it's bad. It's bad. I hear it. It's bad. Reginald. Let me scan Reginald. I just like sand sharks. They scare me. Yeah. That's fair. Nuclear waste disposal. That's good. So sea cucumbers. Oh, welcome back, President. You want to talk about sea cucumbers now? Oh. Can't see. I can't see now. What's this? Bioreactor. That's important. Oh my stars! It's the president. My God. Dearie me. Oh, I gotta swim up. I gotta swim up. I gotta swim up. Not gonna make it.
30 seconds.
probably fine. All rise. I cannot stand up. I'm actually standing right now. I'm just very short. No, don't rise. Too late. Everybody's rising already. Keep doing whatever you're doing. It's alright. Thanks, I will. I was just exploring. Really. We have risen. I don't really want metal salvage right this moment. Oh. President of the people. Of the people, not above the people. I like that. Like I've maybe looked at everything then too. It's a fire! I'm gonna get him! I'm gonna get him! Come here. I realize he might bite me for this, but it's fine. Oh my god, he's so fast. Fast as fuck. Let's go home. Yeah, we're above you actually because we all stood up. That's fine. But only physically above, not like position. If you want to be, that's fine. Goodness, I get sleepy. What if he lives in the mountains? Oh, as a president should. Then he would be above us still. That's true. Where are you relative to sea level? Humble mountain president. Oh, he's way above us. And always will be. Here. Let's go home. We'll talk about some more animals while we wait for the night to go away. Oh, dude, that message. What's up? What's happened?
This is Avery Quinn, trading ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read? Over. Nothing but vacuum. These Altera ships. They run low on engine grease, send an SOS. Help?
It's not nice. There's no up in
Aurora,
space.
I'm out on the far side of the system. It's going to take more than a week to reach your position. You still need our assistance. Over. I'll try them again tomorrow. Damn charter's going to have us blowing our credits running errands for Altera. See what the long-range scans pick up in the meantime.
Oh, sad. I can never be above or below anything. That's true. Alright. Give me this. Okay, let's talk about the things we found. Don't care about that. Also don't care about that. Sea moth is cool. Excited for that one. Scattered wreckage. This wreckage is from Aurora. I don't think I care about this. No, I don't care about none of that. Brain coral. A permanent growing colony of microscopic organisms, this coral species has adapted to filter carbon dioxide from the environment, using the carbon to build up the colony, and then expelling oxygen from specialized exhaust funnels. It is quite hardy, suggesting samples from mature specimen could be grown artificially. Air tanks are equipped to siphon oxygen from the water where possible. So this is interesting. Again, I don't want to get too much into the like carbon thing because I don't know that much about chemistry. But it is a colony of growing microscopic organisms. So probably like sea snails are beautiful, they absolutely are. Sort of like we were talking about before, like coral is usually kind of like the organism that's kind of a shell for a bunch of microscopic phytoplankton, and that's a symbiotic relationship. So that's probably what kind of goes on here. Yeah, using carbon to build the colony. That's my guess. That's all I got for this one, I think. Coral shell plate. Oh, okay. This variant of coral is adapted to live in close proximity to other corals, filtering nutrients from the water and sharing them via a spore-like substance which grows on the base. I already don't remember what this one looks like. There's no picture, so not helpful. Not helpful. I remember what the table coral looks like. colony of microorganisms filtering nutrients from the water, right? Colonies are in direct competition for positions with superior current or light. Unlike other coral species, its structure is malleable, softly pulsating as it pumps nutrients to its extremities, and only turning rigid when it senses physical assaults. The jewel-like nodes of the surface are concentrated buildup of rare minerals the coral is unable to process. Interesting. I don't know how much I have to say about this one, because I feel like I don't know enough about coral to really comment. Oh, we got some carnivores to talk about. We also have the gas pod. We'll talk about the fish first. Kind of looks like a snail. Oh, this boy is a bit of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of wild looking. A medium-sized herbivore found in deeper waters. Single eye, observed swimming near to the seabed from where it can keep its one eye on predators in the water above it. Does it have... I feel like it wouldn't have any depth perception if it only has one eye, right? Which is interesting. Molted green colors, commonly encountered in plant-rich environments. The spadefish is well adapted to hide among the vegetation. I mean, I feel like with the red bits, maybe less so, and with the eyeball being white, yeah, just one eye. They tend to move in loose shoals, and despite their low speed, will take necessary measures to avoid confirmed predators. They don't really have much of a tail either. I have no words for this. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I just don't really see how a lot of its characteristics make any sense. It has no real tail. It has one eye, so it stays on the seabed to look up. I don't know why it wouldn't just have two smaller eyes. I don't know why these people love giant eyes. That's what they're about, apparently. It has one fin, just the one dorsal fin, like nothing else. It has like no real means of propulsion. I got nothing. I don't know how to feel about this man. And then there's this boy. Okay. Small herbivore, distant relative of the common peeper, sharing the species, well-developed side-facing eyes. Wow, another species with just monumental eyes. Hey, I gotta focus on work now, but I'll keep the stream on. Lots of fun today. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. How does the spadefish swim the game? I honestly don't know. We could go back and look, like when it's nice, daylight out. Actually, let's go see if it's daytime. It is in fact daytime. Okay. Crap. I think it was this way. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna see how he swims. Where is he? We're definitely on this one. Like, yeah, so this little dude, like, he swims like you'd think a fish would swim, with, like, the little back and forward movements. I don't know how I feel about how this one swims. That does not... No. This is not okay. He should not be able to swim in a straight line. He's just, like, flinging his body back and forth. Yeah, we'll get to the spadefish, I promise. I just thought we should look at some other ones on the way. Just to see. But I believe the spadefish are over here. I'm deeply upset about this. It doesn't make any sense. Like, its whole body is a tail, basically. And so I can't really show you right this second because I will drown. But so fish usually, like, fish have a bunch of different kinds of fins. So fish have a caudal fin, which is their tail, and that one's used for propulsion to move them forward. And then they usually have a dorsal fin, which is on top, and they often have what's it called? ventral fin or anal fin, I think, which is on the bottom. And those are usually used for like kind of like stability. Because when you're moving your tail back and forth, if you're just like, say, like a sphere, like what's stopping you from just rolling around in every direction? Those like help keep them upright and like going in a straight line. And then fish usually have pectoral fins, which are like their like arm fins. And they use those often for like lift and stability and stuff like that. They can also help with steering. And then they also usually have pelvic fins, which are usually near the pelvis, but they can be anywhere kind of along the body. Those ones are less important. They tend to be used for lots of different things. A lot of times they end up having adaptations that have nothing to do with swimming really. But usually they have all these kinds of fins, and they what's just stopping me from rolling around in every direction as a person with free will? Absolutely nothing. But like, for example, where'd the little bastard go? Where'd he go? Hey! Wait! Oh, is that a Gary fish? See, this one has pectoral fins. It also has whiskers, which is interesting. He's just spinning. He has such a tiny tail. At least his tail kind of, like, it makes sense. Like, he does up and down movement, and he, like, uses his fins for stability and steering. Okay.
30 seconds.
Please go to the lip on that. I just heard. Well, now you have to, Sam. Okay. We'll go find some other fish after this. I could also, maybe I'll just, hang on. I can turn off all of this stuff for a bit, and that might not be a bad idea for right now, because I want to look at stuff. Subnautica commands. Rolling around in every direction. Yeah, now you have to do it. I believe, like, just oxygen turns off the oxygen. Is my console even on? Unsure. Yeah, okay. How do I just, like, change it? What to be a creative? Oh, can I just do that? Will that work? Don't tell me I might. Am I gonna... Okay, now I'm good. Now we can just look at things to our little heart's desire. That's good. Let's go down here. Alright. Got to find us some fishies. Okay, there's a freaking spadefish. So, okay. Let's look at this one. Come here. So, spadefish... Okay, so they do back and forth movement. Like, they just don't have... the tail for that. Like, it doesn't make sense. They just, like, wiggle around like they're worms. I'm very unhappy about that. There's no propulsion that should be happening. They should not be able to move that fast. Oh, I guess, okay, they do use their little, side things. I thought they kind of looked like little, like, spike-like things to me, so I thought they might be sort of like that. But they do... kind of use those. They use them for steering and stuff, so that checks out. That one's okay. But they, like, their tail should not be able to propel them, like, anywhere at any kind of speed. There's no... you don't like it. I'm not in my rolling around tired today. What other fish can we look at that are around here? Let's look at this man. Hey! Oh wow. Can't wait. Yeah, but, like, this really doesn't... Stop it. Stop. I'm trying to look at it. Stop. Stop it. Get back here. Get back here! Hey! Okay, now let's look at this dude. See, that it doesn't make sense for them to just wiggle their whole body. They really shouldn't be able to go very fast doing that. That's a very inefficient way to move around. Because, like, what's stopping their body from just completely going the other direction every time they do that? Oh. Hello, friend. I'm gonna keep holding him. It's fine. I'm very upset about the Gary fish. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's look at the biters, because they're here. The biters, they don't have any pectoral fins. they have... Okay, they have a caudal fin that kind of goes into a dorsal fin, so they have like a tail-like thing, and then they have these little top bits that kind of act like rudders, I think is the right word. So that kind of checks out. Not really sure how they steer. God. Angie boy. I think I actually like the sand shark. Like his design. I think I'm okay with it. Although I haven't looked that hard into it, but he has, you know, he has pectoral. You know what he doesn't have? A caudal fin. He doesn't have a tail. He doesn't have a tail that would produce any kind of movement. Oh, the more I look into to how these creatures are divine, the more it starts to bother me. But like again, I totally get like, oh, let's just make cool creatures that look cool. I get that. That's okay. But I don't know. I just like it when things are accurate. And it kind of bothers me that this is not. I will definitely I'll definitely do this again next Wednesday because I'm having a great time doing it. And there's so much more for us to discover. I could talk for like an hour just about Reaper Leviathans and everything wrong with them. But like, I just am upset watching the Boomerang. Okay, let's look at some other things we scanned in the meantime. So we have the Reginald, which we already talked about how I'm upset about the fins. I don't know how many times I need to hammer that point home again. It just... They have propulsion, but like, I don't know how they steer at all. Reginald! Dull green coloration for deep water camouflage. Luminescent tail coloring, likely part of mating behavior. That's interesting. One thing, what sound does it make? I don't think it makes any sound, unfortunately. I don't even know where its mouth is again. Also, there's a little diagram right here, and I want to know what it is. What sound would you let it make? I think Reginald would make like a sort of sound, you know? That's its mating sound, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna look really quickly on the wiki to see if I can bring that diagram up bigger, because I want to understand what it's showing us. This is so exciting. Mating sound. Okay. Locomotion analysis, it says. Get back here. Hey! Oh god, it's freaking out. Can I have this but bigger, please? No? Hold on. Let me look at this bigger. Right, not like that, not like that. Okay, that made it bigger. There we go. Okay, let's look at this. We'll try to figure out what this says. A guy walks to a girl in a bar. Makes a mating sound. Listen, that sound guaranteed. That's how you get the girls. Alright, let's, move it to the eye. Can't really see what that says. That's okay. Oh, no, please. Hi, Professor. How are you doing today? I don't know how I feel about this. I might have to look into... I honestly might have to look into a little more physics to really understand how this works, because I feel like it makes no sense, although I'm not positive on the physics behind it, so I'll have to look into that a little bit. But because, okay, So the way it looks like it works is it kind of uses its fins going back and forth. Just prepping some trivia for tonight and learning how Factorio works. Ooh, trivia. I will say I don't love trivia generally, but I'd be very interested to see what you're up to. We're just talking about fish and stuff and how upset I am about how some things are designed.
Increased foreign bacteria levels in the water.
Nah, I don't need a cell scan.
Self-scan is advised.
Like, I feel like we're just missing a significant part of the fish. Okay, we're gonna go back to the other part of the stream. Fish trivia. Trivia usually just makes me feel dumb because I don't have a whole lot of like random knowledge. I have a lot of random knowledge about animals, but it never seems to be the right random knowledge. Anyways. Oh yeah. So we're looking at the Reginald. Filters algae and other plant material from the water via 4 gill-like forward-facing orifices. So I presume it's this. You know, it just occurred to me, looking at this like its like smile makes it look significantly creepier. So it's another filter feeder. So that does make sense. I wonder, it has to have some sort of out port. Gotta hop to a meeting, but we'll be in and out. No problem. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Let's talk about the gasopod. Slow-moving life form, one of the larger herbivores on the planet, providing a substantial meal to would-be predators. The gasopod protects its domain by filling the surrounding water with poisonous and corrosive pods whose contents dissolve even synthetic fibers. So that's interesting. One of the really interesting things about this guy is the tail and the defense mechanism. So this guy, it kind of looks like a manatee or like a... I can't remember what the other things are called, but they kind of look like manatees, this guy. And I'm trying to decide, I guess it would still be poisonous. I think we're gonna go with that. I think this one counts as poisonous because it's not injecting any toxin into other animals. It's just sort of letting loose pods of poison, I guess, and corrosive. So that's interesting. I wonder what it eats to be able to make that stuff. Again, this is a whole nother topic, is the whole toxin and venom thing. What does it eat? I don't know. I mean, it's a herbivore, but like most likely it has to get at least some portion of the material to make the toxin stuff from its diet. So I wonder what kind of plants it would eat to get that. I don't know, honestly. Thick non-reactive skin and multiple gill layers under the creature, impervious to the noxious acid cloud it produces. Multiple gill layers. So yeah, the thick skin does make sense. I mean, one thing obviously we talked about before is like challenges and solutions, basically, and obviously if you're going to be a poisonous animal, your body needs to not react to the poison, because at that point it's useless, you're just poisoning yourself. So it has thick skin, multiple gill layers. I'm not entirely sure what it means by multiple gill layers. Like, it could just be that it's able to filter out the poison if it gets in there. That would be my best guess as to what multiple gill layers mean. Because, like, I can find out. Now I can find a picture of the gills for you guys. Okay. Now we're here. So we can talk about gills now, a little bit. Hang tight. Back to this. Back to look at this man's eyeball. Look at it. Can I go here? Is it gonna switch if I go here, right? Yes. Perfect. Okay. Onions have layers. So this is kind of what fish gills look like. So you can see here, they have like multiple like sets of gills, multiple little layers already, and they have all these little filaments, which helps the like, it provides a lot of surface area for oxygen exchange, I believe. So they already kind of, you can see, yeah, they already kind of have multiple layers. The water comes into their mouth, it comes out through the gills, oxygen exchange happens in there somewhere. So I'm not sure what it means by multiple gill layers, since fish kind of already have multiple gill layers. Not really sure. And again, if you're just taking in water through your mouth, like, I don't know that having multiple gill layers would protect you from anything. Unsure. Algae gland, a bulbous sac-like appendage on the rear end. A luminescent yellow algae grows inside the sac and produces the poisonous compound. Oh, so it's not something they eat. Maybe instead of 2 exits, 6 exits. Interesting. So it has been, I suppose, a symbiotic relationship with this yellow algae that grows inside it. The thing that is interesting to me here is, so algae is, it's a plant cell, which means they grow partly using like sunlight and stuff like that because they're autotrophs. So they don't eat other animals. They produce their own energy from sunlight. So the thing that I'm wondering about is, how is this benefiting the algae? Because the way symbiotic relationships work is it has to kind of go both ways. And if the algae can't grow because it doesn't have access to sunlight, then that's not very helpful for the gasopod. Do I like algae? I'm okay with algae. Again, I like animals better than plant type things, but algae's pretty cool. Where did a gasopod go? Hello? Unsure. That's okay. Because obviously on the top bits it kind of makes sense, because it's like, oh, okay, it could maybe go do some basking at the top and then the algae would get lots of sunlight. But like, what about on the bottom? Does it just like roll around and it gets enough sunlight? That's interesting. And I wonder why the algae grows the poisonous compound. Algae or plankton? Plankton. I think plankton's cooler. Although, like, little bits of algae, I guess, maybe count as plankton. Phytoplankton. Plant cells. Large pelvic fins capable of powerful movement through the water when moving in small herds. Just to be clear, those aren't pelvic fins. Those are pectoral fins. Okay, let's get that secret formula. Absolutely. Yeah, so those are pectoral fins because of the position they're in. And because of what they're probably used for. Pelvic fins are different. Pelvic fins tend to be sort of on the bottom and they're not used for the same stuff. So they use their pectoral fins for propulsion, I guess. Which, again, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know where the gasopods went. We might have to put that, I could scan something. What was it? Where is it? Who is it? Did I scan all this stuff? You can tell when they're pectoral fins. Well, I can't. Don't call me out like that. Tell your most funny fish joke. Well, okay. This is my mom's favorite joke. Favorite fish joke. Okay. I'm gonna write it in chat for you. Because I think it's funnier written. Haha, funny joke. There just isn't a lot of fish, to my knowledge, that use their pectoral fins for propulsion. Like, that's not usually what they're there for. Thank you. I'm glad you like that joke. But again, pectoral fins, they're in the pectoral region. This is the pectoral region. They'd be on Actually, I don't know if these guys have. I'm not gonna say that part because I don't remember if fish have the girdle things or not. Anyways, but I'll show you real quick. We'll look at what pectoral and pelvic fins are. Fish fins, and you will see what I mean when I say those are. But are those not more like sea cows? Are sea cows not the same? Is that not just a word for manatees? Or oh, dugong. That was the other thing, that word that I was trying to think of, and I couldn't. Yeah, dugongs kind of look like manatees. They're called sea cows also. Yeah, they're just like giant mammals that just chill out in the water. Yeah, they're very similar. Okay, back. I don't know. I'm not an alien. No, you're right. There is a thing called sea cows. And that one. So there's dugongs, which are also called sea cows, I believe. And they're just this big, kind of silly looking, like, cutie. And then there's manatees, which are quite similar. I think they're a different species though. Yeah, but they kind of look like if you overinflated a seal. That's what they look like to me. So we can see. Yeah. They're really cute. Okay. I forgot. I got so into the manatees and dugongs that I forgot what I was going to look up. Oh, fish fins. That's what I was looking at. Okay. Fat seal. Yeah. So we're going to look at the fish fins really quick. So we got... Oh boy. We don't need to get into all of this, but let's look at this one. This one's similar. So again, we have the dorsal fins, because dorsal basically means like on their back. This is their back. That's the dorsal. We have their caudal fin because it's at the end. It's used for propulsion and stuff like that. We have the anal fin. It's also called the ventral fin because ventral means like stomach. So those are the unpaired fins. So there's only one of each, and again, they're kind of used to like keep the fish steady. What did one fish in a tank say to the other? Overplayed seal, but then the singer seal. You man the guns, I'll drive. That's a good one. All right, and then again, we have the paired fins. There's two of them. So there's the pectoral fins, which again are like the little like arm fins, and then we have the ventral or pelvic fins. And the thing about the pelvic fins, that's not how you spell that, pelvic fins, is that so there's three places they can be. I think I can't remember what they're all called. It's like abdominal something and something else. But like placement is what I want. I don't think this is gonna give me what I wanted. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's not gonna tell me, huh? Dang it. I can't remember what they're called, but I literally have this picture in my old notes. I just want to remember what it's called. It's just the placement has there's different words for the different placements. I can't remember. Nope, that's not what I wanted either. I might have to go look at my notes really quick. None of this is what I want. Okay, well basically what goes on is we'll go back to this one. And today on Fish Talk with Waddles, fins. Yes. Basically, like there's pelvic fins are a lot more like, what's the word? Like kind of like malleable, like they just tend to be used for much different things than the other fins are. And so you can see, oh, it's like abdominal, thoracic, and there's another one. I can't remember what it is. It's gonna bother me if I don't look it up. But you can see like, so is it, maybe it's abdominal, thoracic, jugular? Anyway, it has to do with the placement, and usually pelvic fins are very, like they're paired, but they're very close together. They're like right beside each other. Miss, is this going to be on the test? Absolutely. You better learn this. This is going to be in fish trivia. When we have fish trivia, this is going to be a question. I'm telling you right now. Oh, God. What, hang on. I don't remember. I don't remember which course this was in. Okay, no, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. We have abdominal, thoracic, and jugular. Actually, I could probably look it up now. I know abdominal is one. Abdominal. Good spelling, me. So that's bothering me, because it's just... Yes, but... Can I copy your notes? This is so annoying. Oh, this is also... We should look at this after. I'm not going to do it right this second, but... Okay. You know what? Pelvic... pelvic fins. Abdominal, thoracic, jugular. I think that's what it is. And I must know now. Yes! Oh, I'm smart. I remembered. Yeah. So, yeah. Abdominal, sub-abdominal, I guess, thoracic, and jugular. So it just has to do with the placement. And they're just not quite as often used for, like, locomotion stuff, whereas the pectoral fins, they are for, like I said, like, lift and, like, steering and stuff like that. I got all the notes in C major already. Oh, boy. Okay. Now we're talking about fins. We're gonna talk about, oh boy. I can't read that. Basically, this is hard to see, but we're gonna look at, you can kind of see this. What we're talking about. So, you have the different, these are like the different kinds of caudal shapes. These are not all the shapes, or like the ones I really wanted to touch on, but you can see like, so the more forked ones are, again, the ones that are faster, and the more rounded ones are usually fish that are not as fast, but might need to maneuver more and stuff like that. I don't totally remember what the more rounded ones are for. I just remember that these ones are fast boys. Okay. So we got about 10 minutes left. If there's anything you're, like, dying to talk about, like if you really want to talk about sea cucumbers, or if you really want to talk about sand sharks, let me know, and we can talk about it. Go back to this. Tell yourself I'm double truncated. Yeah, and I will, for next Wednesday, I'm going to do this again, definitely, because I'm having a great time doing it. I will try to prepare some better notes for myself, because I have a lot of, like, notes from school that have stuff that I'd like to talk about, but I kind of just went into this being like, I'll just talk about whatever. I think it worked pretty well. Biter. Yeah, this is Shabaka. I'm gonna go hang out with the reefbacks for the last few minutes. I'm going. To can you dance like a fish? I personally cannot, unfortunately. Just like, what about like fishy dance? Man, it's pretty hard to dance sitting in a chair. He's just a fascinating boy. Look at him. Look at his insides. First Talk Wednesdays, please. Fist Talk Wednesdays. Fist talk. We're gonna talk about fists. Do the worm. I can't do the worm. Put on some Grobin. I don't know what that means. I said Grobin. It's too bad I'm not fast enough to be able to go find a Reaper in the next 8 minutes. That will have to wait. We will have to do some resource collecting maybe. I could do that in some off time, so we have lots of time to talk about stuff. We shall see. We shall see. Swim, me swim, a swim, me swim. We do a swim, and then we swim. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Swimming, swimming, swimming. Or if we just go to 2, you know. Oh! Oh, that think my least favorite fish today is the spadefish. My favorite one is like... What's my favorite fish today? I think I like the rabbit ray the best so far. Just out of the ones we've looked at. Where's that? It's a pretty good boy. Not too. Pretty happy with that. Okay. I think I'll just end the stream there because I feel like if I go on any more tangents, it's gonna go badly for me. And I'm gonna end up going over time, which I don't want to do because I have other stuff to do. How about a song about a fish? I don't know if I know any fish songs, to be honest. I was just singing a fish song. I was singing a swimming song. You swim, and you catch the fish, and you wish that they would be maybe better designed, but it's totally fine. There's a gasopod. I don't know what rhymes with gasopod. He's kind of odd. He got a cool tail. He probably eats snails. He's kind of doing a fail as he flails into the rock. What a shock. Yeah, the stream's over. I gotta go do other stuff. My sister's here. I gotta go hang out with her. But I will be back on Friday. I have no idea what I'm gonna play yet. Haven't figured that out yet. But I will be back on Monday. I'll be playing Don't Starve on Monday, and I'll be back on Wednesday, and I will be playing Subnautica and doing more biology talk on Wednesday, I think, because I'm having a good time with this. Yeah, thank you everybody so much for joining. Thank you for everybody who followed, and if you joined the Discord and stuff like that, I really appreciate it. I'm so happy you guys could be here with me to do this, because I was super excited about the stream, and I still am. I just want to talk about fish forever. So please hit the follow button if you have not already. You can join the Discord below. You just have to click on the Discord button if you want to do that, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye bye.